So today we're going to try something a little bit different. What we're going to do today is we've got a BMW here, really common vehicle in the workshop, again with condition-based service reset and an iDrive menu system that records the service history. It's a common task that many technicians in many workshops up and down the country will have faced at some point in time. What we're going to do is today we're going to compare the features of an aftermarket diagnostic tool, compare that with the dealer genuine diagnostic system, and you can see the differences between how each one works and the effect on the vehicle as we put the specific service requirements in. So first of all, how do we know what the vehicle's done previously? From the iDrive system, we can go into the vehicle information screen, we go down to the vehicle status, and then we can scroll down to service requirements, and at the top of your service requirements will be your what's required to be physically done on the vehicle. So we can see here that this particular vehicle requires brake fluid and vehicle inspection. At the moment, this particular vehicle, there's no service history in this vehicle. So it would appear that although the vehicle's a couple of years old, it's never actually had the service history transferred into the iDrive system. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do that with our aftermarket tool. The tool we're using is the Top-Down Phoenix Smart. And the way we work this is we simply scan the vehicle. Now it's worth remembering when you're doing this in the workshop, there's actually two parts to this particular process. The first one is actually creating the digital service entry in the vehicle, and the second is actually to reset what we call the CBS, the condition-based service data. So we need to physically get rid of these two warnings here, and then we need to create that entry into the vehicle. So any prospective customers who are looking to buy the car in the future will be able to see what it's had done, when, and they'll be given mileages, but we'll go through that as we go through. So from the main screen, we're going to go into the quick access menu. Just wait while it gathers the data and the VIN. So it's just scanning the ECUs on the vehicle now. Now we don't actually physically need to. There will be a shortcut menu that will allow us to go into the special functions of the car. Okay, so across the top here, we've got our special function menu. We're going to go into the maintenance section, and then you can see here the service record. So here we can add and delete the service history. So this is going to put a service history into the vehicle, as well as the CBS, the reset data. So we will be able to reset these two, brake fluid and vehicle inspection as well, after we've actually created the service record. But let's do the service record first. So it's asking us if we want to do a single item right or whether we want to do multiple. So of course, if we've actually changed, let's say for example, the oil, and we've done brake pads and we've done air filter, of course we'd need to enter that as a multiple item. As we're just going to do brake fluid in this particular walkthrough and video, we're just going to select the single item. We're going to write the service record. It's going to ask us what we've done. So we're going to select brake fluid. We're going to say service carried out. Now it's asking us if it's done at a BMW dealer or an independent dealer. So independent dealer. Now this will allow us to input the workshop name. Unfortunately, no more than 7 digits. So again, you'll be able to use the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but nothing more than that. So we're just going to create 1, 4, 6, 8, 0. Now it wants us to put the mileage in. Now the mileage unfortunately has to be entered in kilometres, so we'll just need to do a little bit of conversion at the moment. We can see what the mileage is in miles, but we'll just need to do a very, very quick conversion. 188,739. We click OK. It wants the date input in, but it wants it in the form of the year, the month and the date. So we're going to need to go year first, then the month, and then the day. Function is completed. Click OK. Now we go back to the vehicle and we can check to see whether that information has been written into the car. So we just come back out of the service menu, back in service requirements, and now you can see above our brake fluid and vehicle inspection, we now have our service history tab. We can click in the service history. That'll show us our dealer code that's done it, 14680, the mileage and the date that we've written in. If we clicked on the OK, that would show us then what we've actually carried out. So that's the brake fluid service that we've done. So that's the physical service history done. However, that's not actually got rid of our warnings with regards to brake fluid. It still thinks we need to do a brake fluid check, or that it was overdue and it should have been done 07/20/25. So what we now need to do is we need to get rid of that brake fluid warning, and we can do that by simply going into the CBS reset. So it's just scanning now to see what options it needs to be reset, and it's giving us the options here. So we need to select brake fluid, F4, for brake fluid. Okay, so interestingly, we've got an engine tuning detected by the automated test. So again, so it knows there's a fault memory event. So we're just going to click F1, OK, and continue. And the brake fluid now, CBS reset has been performed. We've got confirmation of that now in the iDrive system on the vehicle. That's now gone from a red triangle now to green, OK. And that will now be saying that it next needs changing 04/2028. Now, if we were to then want to get rid of the vehicle inspection, we simply find vehicle inspection in the list. So statutory vehicle inspection 09/2025, which is function F7. We do exactly the same thing. We select F7. We wait for it then obviously to do its checks and perform. And we can see straight away now that that's physically disappeared now. So everything according to the vehicle is now fine. The vehicle check's fine, brake fluid's fine, front and rear pads and engine oil. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the genuine dealer tool on this particular vehicle. What we're looking for is to see what effect it has on the actual service history that it's transferred into the vehicle, because ultimately the service history is taken from the cloud within BMW. Now, because BMW have no entry of this in the cloud, we're first going to need to log on to the BMW AOS portal, and we're going to need to see if it's actually sent this information from the car backwards to BMW. In other words, do BMW know this car's actually had a service? So irrespective of the fact that we've written the service into the car, do BMW know and are they aware that we've performed this service? And what will happen when we actually decide to create a service entry within the BMW portal and then we use the dealer tool to transfer this? Will this duplicate this entry? Will this delete this entry? What will happen? We've this time got our genuine dealer diagnostic interface connected with our LAN connection, and we've logged into the BMW AOS portal. Fortunately for us, we do have the BMW key reader, so all we need to simply do is present the key to the key reader, wait for the little green light. There we go. We're good, we're transmitting, we've read the data. So what we need to do now is refresh that inside the AOS portal, hit the update option, and then we should be able to see in here the BMW 116. There's our vehicle with our full vehicle VIN number. It knows we've read it via the key reader. We then simply click the little arrow over here on the right hand side and that'll take us into the service menu. But before we do that, interestingly, what you'll know is it's already pre-written in the date and also the mileage. So it's also done that conversion for you into kilometers. So we don't need to worry about any of the conversions or inputting any of the mileage. So what we're looking for here now is we're looking for the history. So we've got here history. So the 186738, 21st of the 4th, 2026. So this is obviously now it's wanting us to start and create an entry. I'm just looking back to see if we've got any old history. So what that means is although we've done the service history transfer using our aftermarket diagnostic tool and the vehicle's got a service history entry in it, BMW have no record of that entry, because what they're saying still is the vehicle inspection and the brake fluid still requires service maintenance carried out. Okay, so yeah, unless we can actually create this entry here in BMW and update it to the cloud, that entry in the vehicle will have no relevance. So what we'll do is we'll see what happens to this entry when we now do it correctly and we tell it what we've done. Also, a couple of other things worth noting as well, because we've done the read via the key, we can see that we've got the remaining mileages and the remaining dates from all of the items that it's actually okay with, and importantly that these items here that it does require that are in red. If we'd have done that from the vehicle VIN number without reading the key, these would have all been grey and they would have had no mileages and no information. So from a visual perspective as far as the customer is concerned, and when you're presenting this to the customer, this looks a lot more professional and they've got a lot more confidence in you as a workshop to carry out your abilities for servicing, and more importantly keeping the customer up to date for now and going forward in the future. So to get started and create our service history entry, what we need to do is just click on the right and display service history. This will pop up the menu. Obviously the date and the mileage are already in there, as I've mentioned, because that's done from the key. It's already pre-selected the fact that we need to do the brake fluid, and if we scroll down the list, there's our vehicle inspection as well. So those are the two items that it needed doing. You can input here your own description and your own thoughts and notes on what we've done. We can also as well, at this point it's worth mentioning, if we had changed the oil as well, we could actually manually select that as well. So that will of course also update the mileage and the date that that then needs actually performing next. But for the purpose of this, we're just going to create these items here. And what we've got to do is we've got to tick the little box here to say that we accept. And what we're going to do then is write the service history entry into the vehicle. Here's the option now to actually print that service history overview out to the customer. So this is your opportunity now to either save this as a PDF or physically print it. There's the information here. So we've just powered down the vehicle, we've powered back on. We now have 3 entries in the vehicle: the 2020, the 2025 and the 2026 entry with dealer code 00000, which is taken as an independent. So just to recap, if you are going to do digital service history entry with using a diagnostic equipment and tooling, interesting to note, you don't actually need the BMW icon, you don't need a subscription, there's no cost attached, you just need a login to the BMW OS portal, and all of this transfer has been done over the air digitally straight into the vehicle. Now again, just highlights again the differences between the genuine dealer tool and an aftermarket tool. The aftermarket tool entry has now disappeared, and what we're left with in the vehicle now is the 3 entries that were actually recorded in the BMW AOS portal. So just beware and be warned, if you're going to use an aftermarket tool, make sure that entry is on the BMW AOS portal. Otherwise you run the risk of that disappearing should somebody come in after you with the genuine tool. If you want to know more about BMW products, software, service, everything you need to know is in our BMW Buyer's Guide on screen now. Thanks for watching.